Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Good to see you. How's everybody doing? James says, right off the bat, James says, XCN coiled up.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree with James.
Let me pull the chart up here. Boom. Yeah. So I've been watching this pretty closely, man. We have our breakout of the descending channel. So we have our breakout, we have our retest, and now we've broken above this resistance. So for me, being right here above this resistance, we've closed what, 3 daily candles above there now. I'm
Hmm.
just waiting for that, boom. Because like I said, we've had our breakout, we've had our retest. Let's go.
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm waiting on right now.
What time frame are you on there?
It's a daily.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
It's looking real good. Yeah, I even looked at the smaller time frames, the 4 hour and stuff like that, and it does. I agree with him that it is coiling up. The fact that we're holding above that 0.0016, which is kind of it's been past resistance. If you look at that channel there, is a
yeah,
very good sign.
yeah. I usually don't like. I'll look every once in a blue moon. I'll look at the lower time frames below a day, but usually when I'm actually looking for future price action,
Hmm.
I mean, see, the thing is, these patterns, they usually obviously start on the lower time frames, but for me to end up taking them seriously,
Sure.
it has to be at least on the daily. Sometimes I'll look at the 4 hour or the 8 hour just to kind of see if there's anything kind of cooking. But for the most part, yeah, I won't go any lower than the daily when it comes to what the immediate future is kind of thing.
Yep.
That's just me though. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I look sometimes on the smaller time frames when I'm looking at with Elliott wave and looking at the microwave structure just to see how things are are going, and the structure looks pretty good there. I mean, we're definitely holding that 0.00160, and it's chopping, and I think as soon as we get some more momentum in there, we're gonna go up pretty quick. We're certainly gonna break the top of that channel.
Well, exactly, and like for me, I'm looking at Bitcoin here too on the daily, and it's just like we had this symmetrical triangle here. We've respected it, for
Mhm.
3 days, and then we finally we closed above resistance here, which I was really paying a lot of attention to because we rejected off of there 6 days in a row, as you can see,
Yep.
before we finally broke through and closed a candle. We wicked right up to this little golden pocket I have. Uh, Between that 94 and 95K, because that's where I think we're going to meet the next kind of significant level of resistance
Yeah.
personally. But, if Bitcoin can break up inside of here, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I think soon, like I said, we've had 6 days of rejection here. So it's coiled up as well. We should see some sort of a break. We'll probably pass 95 and then come back inside of here. It's what I'm thinking. And if that happens, projects like XCN are probably going to finally hit that melt up phase and move up to their next level of consolidation, kind of like XRP's been doing, right?
Exactly. And the alts are really loving right now when BTC just pauses. When Bitcoin's, up and takes that breath, that pause, it goes sideways for a day or two or three. The altcoins are seeing it as a safe spot to run, like there's a little bit of stability. And plus, it's common that the money's going to flow into the moving asset with Bitcoin, and then once it pauses, they'll go into more riskier, assets. Um, I wouldn't be surprised just from my hunch, and this is just my hunch based on the wave count extension. If we do see a 10 to 15% correction, even 25% correction, just to back test that 70K area real quick as a shakeout. But so far everything's looking good. I mean, today another all time high.
Yeah, exactly. Another all time high today. Yep, 100%. And that kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Yep.
It wasn't as big a news today as you would think it would have been. But
But
Rodney asks,
people are getting used to it.
yeah. Rodney asks if XCN is an American company. Not that I know of. I Googled it yesterday and it said, no, it's not an American company. So,
Yeah, so it's actually it's a DAO, so it's completely community government. There's no centralized base point for it. It does not have any affiliation with XRP, and it does no longer have any association with XLM. It never did directly, but it was bought out at one point by the Stellar Foundation. And to my knowledge, it has now been sold and purchased by a group of quote unquote private investors. That's about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so I think people are asking because they're thinking about those tax implications, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I understand it, companies and projects can migrate down to the United States and qualify. That's the whole point, right? Is to bring innovation back to the United States. So not only companies launching in the United States, but if companies or projects at the very least have a home office in the United States and call United States home, so to speak, right?
Right.
And register. I don't want to say register because it's too strong of a word, especially for a decentralized project. But if they can register as an American company, then they would qualify for those tax breaks for investors, right? So maybe that's something for the Dow to vote on, or the proposal or something, right?
Well, I didn't even know any of that. I didn't hear that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, well, that's the point, right? Is to undo all the damage that the SEC's been doing, pushing innovation offshore. Let's bring these companies home, right?
Right. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well,
I mean, when you're talking about tax breaks, man, you got investors' attention for sure.
And you're already noticing an effect where a lot of these American companies are already in talks with the government. Cardano, Ripple, HBAR, right? They're all in talks with the American.
Yeah, Charles Hoskinson over there. He's been at the government summits pertaining to blockchain and stuff. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Well, like Brad Garlinghouse just met with Trump the other day. I think Charles Hoskinson is good friends with Elon Musk. So I know he's been down there talking with them. Yeah, he also signed an NDA with SpaceX the other day as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So big things are coming for these American companies. That is a clear-cut sign. All these other companies just say, fuck, we want some government contracts. We want to start working with the government, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah, I don't think they'll have that with XCN now, based on what I'm telling you. It seems like they take anonymity as a DAO to what I would consider the extreme. Well, sometimes frustratingly so. But yeah, that's huge for those companies that are going out there and establishing a base in the United States.
Yeah, 100%. See if we got any questions before we get into things here.
Sure.
Sammy, I don't think it's time yet for altcoins. No, it's not time for altcoins yet, Sammy. But altcoins will do a melt up with Bitcoin, though, like you're seeing with XRP. You've seen it with here. Let's go over to the bubbles and have a look. You're seeing what it's called a melt up. It's not altcoin season, right? But we've seen lately, like if we go to the weekly, right? We got Algorand, XRP, KASPA, Myria, right? A lot of these projects are starting to make legs up. HBAR, XLM, Corium, Casper, Cardano, Flare, Quant. You're seeing these projects start to melt their way up to new higher highs, and they're consolidating at these higher levels. And that doesn't mean that it's altcoin season. It's just the altcoins are lagging behind Bitcoin's price action. So they do tend to start to catch up when Bitcoin starts to consolidate, which it has been doing for about 8 or 9 days now, right? So that's all that is. It's not altcoin season. It's just a slow melt up for altcoins. Because like altcoins aren't going to pop off for altcoin season based on where they are right now. They're going to continue to melt up. Probably, I think Bitcoin's still going to run for another 6, 7, 8 weeks before altcoin season really starts to kind of kick in a little bit here. But alts aren't just going to sit stagnant. They're going to melt their way up as well, right? just not at the pace that Bitcoin is.
Exactly. And the money, as Bitcoin goes higher and higher and higher, the likelihood of a correction increases, and people will take some off the table and go, start positioning themselves little by little, in the tokens that they're choosing for that inevitable season. And it generally starts with your legacy tokens and your large caps. And that's why, any doubt that this cycle is going to deviate from past cycles I was really happy to see tokens like XRP go up, Cardano have a 60% day. And the one that really stood out to me is XLM. That project, a lot of people had just kind of thought it was archaic and just, a thing of the past but that was a very core player during previous bull cycles. And for that to come alive too, this is really falling in line with I call it a rotation, of the trickling down, from people would say, as I'm sure many of you know, that Bitcoin goes on a run, Ethereum starts to outperform it, then it goes to large caps, medium caps, micro caps, and then it's bear market. But I think we're really looking at a really traditional cycle still at this point. I don't see anything to cause any alarm for, hey, alt season may not happen. I know there's a lot of that on YouTube and all this stuff, and then other people saying it's going to start in 2 weeks. No one has a crystal ball, but right now I think, Rob, that everything is really right on time.
Oh, 100%. Exactly. But you get that every bull run though, right? Every 4-year cycle around this time, you get it. First, you get the people who say an altcoin season's not coming, right? This time is different. We're not going to see an altcoin season, or alts are not going to run. Generally, that kind of feng shui comes from Bitcoin maxis, right?
Right.
It's their way of trying to get everyone to abandon altcoins and jump into their favorite project, right? It's never ever come to fruition, and it won't this time. And then we move into the next phase after alts start to kick off and everything goes crazy. Then we start to get the BitBoys and stuff where they say, super cycle, don't sell your crypto. 2026 and 2027 is going to be even higher, right? Then those jackasses start coming out, and
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm still watching those same levels that you had mentioned. I'm watching for one more extension in right now to the 95 to 97K level. But psychologically, man, once Bitcoin, if it does, which I have no reason to believe it won't at this point, hits the 100K level, then it's on everyone's news station, and your grandmother across the street's asking you. It's funny enough. My father, I'll share this. My father is a very traditional person, and he was always big on investing in metals. We're always been big on gold and silver, big on gold. And he's always like, crypto's bullshit, it's fake money. How could you sell it? You can get real money for that, blah blah blah. He's older. And this weekend I actually traveled with my father down to North Carolina and had the experience of staying in a hotel with him for a few days and talking and stuff. And long story short is he bought his first $500 worth of XCN this weekend. Nice. That dinosaur, he's in the market, man. So that's also something to make mention, that you have people that were totally against it or whatever. In these types of environments, you attract new people. So yeah, it's interesting. I wonder how many other people are coming on board, because I don't think we've seen a lot of retail yet enter the market. I think once the 100K news starts flashing, you're going to see a lot of people come running in, and it baffles me. No one will buy at 15K, but they'll buy the top. Every time. Same thing with metals too. No one was buying gold, when it retraced down to 1,800, and at 2,400 they can't keep it in the coin shop. It just it didn't make any sense to me.
Well, the thing is for me is that I feel bad for those people, but we need those people, because really they're being manipulated because they don't understand, right? all they know, they're normies, right? All they know is living their lives, and then all of a sudden, Bernstein and BlackRock and everyone starts telling them, and all the media outlets that are owned by these people start telling them, buy Bitcoin, buy crypto right now, go buy crypto right now. It's the best time, right?
Yep.
Because they're getting ready to dump, right?
Yep.
So that's all they. So then they're like, oh shit, you know what? Like Bernstein just said, get access to get crypto in my portfolio ASAP. I better get a taste of this, right? And now you're dumped on, right?
Yeah, exactly. With the exit liquidity. And that's just, with capitalism, how it is. There's always got to be, for lack of better words, there's got to be the Chiefs and there's got to be the Indians, man. There always has to have somebody holding the bag at the end of this, man.
Yeah.
I just, I feel for him, but I don't want it to be me.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why I always stress on the channel about being emotionally and mentally responsible and keeping yourself in check, because you're exactly right. There's two types of people, and it's not just crypto, it's stocks too. It's any kind of investing. There has to be a buyer for every seller, right? Same thing. And at the end of the day, you're going to be one of those two people, right? Someone who panics, someone who believes FUD. Like I have people that I talk to on a daily basis. They literally go out and seek FUD to scare themselves, right? And then I get messages and stuff, and should I be selling? Should I be selling? Right? Like I saw this. Well, when you're going to like the most obscure sources of, like morons, and they're telling you that, the altcoin season's not coming or whatever so you're one of those people. You're either one of those people who allows yourself to be manipulated and scared by everything. And that's why I always stress how vital doing research is. Yep. And I know that 90% of the people who watch my videos and everyone else's, they don't do any research. They just buy what they hear. Like you shouldn't buy something because I say I like it, right? Exactly. I could be wrong. My wife tells me I'm wrong all the fucking time. Yep.
I got one of those too.
Yeah.
The trouble is a lot of people hear things, people present on YouTube and the internet and articles and everything. They present their opinions as facts, and and they speak very well and they have conviction behind their opinions. So they, to a degree, you're selling it. And it's very easy for a lot of people when you have emotions tied to that to buy in to believing, your version of the argument. And those are the same people, unfortunately. And I could speak from experience, having been one of these myself, that 3 hours later, reading something else, I could have a complete different impression and feel completely different. I mean, you're very vulnerable. Humans at large are extremely attached to money. We're very attached to money, and it is a super high disciplined practice to try to detach the emotion away from your money. And most people also overinvest.
I find in crypto that most people, all they want, they don't want to do research. All they want is someone to tell them what to buy and when it's going to go to the moon.
Yep, exactly. When to sell, do everything for me.
Yeah.
I hear you. And I could say, earlier on, I was, one of those people just not having any type of strategy or any type of emotional regulation with what I was doing, and I would lose.
Yep, that's what they bet on. That's that's why you have larger content creators. Like for me, and I think I've touched on this before. That's why I don't take sponsorships from projects, and I don't do that kind of stuff, because then I'm biased, right? I have a bias now. I'm how can you trust, if I'm doing paid sponsored content, how can you trust that I'm not completely sold out of what I'm talking about, but telling you to keep buying it because the company's paying me to tell you that, right? Like, look at that. I hate to call people out, but look at that Crypto John guy. Like, did you see his exposed videos?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he's got like thousands of people, like 2,000 people on his Discord, I guess. Somebody tracked all of his wallets, and they did a very good job catching him. It was like an hour-long breakdown, like documentary about how he's scamming his own followers.
That's
And what he
awesome.
does is on his Discord, his paid Discord, he shills like he'll buy a brand new meme coin. He'll put like 50 grand into it, and then he'll shill it, telling everyone to buy it, and then everyone buys it, so the price goes up, and then he dumps on them. Right? He does it all the time, and I'm just like, what the hell, man? Yeah.
That's very
That's why
unethical.
I don't. That's why I don't recommend. Like I don't do like, hey man, check out this meme coin. I don't do that stuff because you can't be trusted, and I don't take sponsored paid content. Don't do either one of those things.
Yep.
And believe me, I get
You're the
five or
real
six.
deal, man. That's why I'm here. I respect how you do your stuff. It's well thought out. It's objective, and you tell it like it is.
Well, like I remember when we had that. What was it, about a month and a half ago? We had that little scare where. Remember you were like you got out of it, and then I can't. What happened again? I can't remember what it was.
What's that? It was a
Remember
month and a
you
half
got.
ago.
It was about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago now. Remember you got out of XCN because it was like
Oh yeah,
we needed some answers about something.
yeah.
I
With
can't remember.
with the VUSD.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So like,
The hack.
you know, look,
My main instinct at that point. When the DAP was compromised, the markets really were compromised at that point. But I didn't know how far the leakage would go, and immediately I had my stuff staked, so I took it off there and got out. And then I also had some concerns about the liquidity that was onboarded on VUSD in the increments that it was. I still don't understand exactly how that happened, but I do know that everything is on EtherScan. So, I didn't feel the need to go through it and see the wallet activity and everything like that. But the staking contract has remained unaffected and untouched since its birth in 2022. So that has never been an issue. It's basically loopholes and exploits in the markets that are added on. And, I got to say, though, Rob, even as happy as I was with VUSD, I was very nervous because, I still didn't, I still kind of remember what happened with, Terra Luna and, other things like that. When you bring a stable into the mix, they're targets. You're putting a target on your back.
yeah. Well, that's what makes me a little bit worried about Ripple launching theirs, right? I'm like, like I hope nothing bad happens,
Right.
But
They
uh,
always find ways, man, to depeg those. I mean, even in the early days, I remember a couple mornings where you where Tether was down to like 40 cents on the dollar, and everyone's like, "Oh, buy it quick, it's going to repeg." And so there's been instances where even something like Tether has depegged.
yeah. Let me see if we've got any questions here.
Sure.
Bruno, hey Rob, are you or Wes planning to leave a portion of your XCN bag for the next bull run? I'm not. Are you planning on holding on to any of your XCN through the next bear market?
No. Nope. What I'll be doing is I'll be out. I'll wait for Bitcoin to go down below the 382 and then show some type of reversal where it's trying to push against the 382, and then I'll start scaling in that way. And, probably making small contributions to coins of my choosing at that point. But I don't believe, when Bitcoin goes down in a bear market, I could think of less than a handful of exceptions where, any coin goes against King Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be staking. I would be taking my profits, waiting for a great entry where the probability of it going up is greater than it going down. I would wait for it to retrace at least to 85% of, the prior cycle top, and then scale in knowing that it could very well go 95% or more from the all-time high. That's just me.
Yeah, and it likely will go down 90 to 95% for sure. And I'm going to do the same thing. Depending, I mean, people ask me, are you going to buy more XCN in the bear market? Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, I have to know. See, that's the problem a lot of people make in crypto is that when the bear market comes around, they leave and they don't pay attention to what's going on. And then they come back and you have no idea whether your favorite projects have been developing, have they been collaborating with other projects? Have they been expanding, becoming more than they are as the team?
Right.
Or has it just been stagnant and sideways? Because if it's stagnant and sideways, guess what? It's not a good investment going into the next bull run. Look at projects like we talk all the time, like Dash.
Exactly.
Just done.
And how many tokens have they unlocked during that period of time, or has it been forked, or there's you got to know the reasoning other than just the charts doing the charts thing. If there's any contributing factors, in the climate of the project that you're in.
Well, exactly. And just because we're not, when you're in the bottom of a bear market or you're heading down towards the bottom of a bear market, that doesn't make the information with the companies and the crypto industry as a whole any less important for you to be aware of.
Right.
So, and that's too many people leave. And like for me, if XCN doesn't continue to grow, doesn't continue to, innovate and new proposals, expanding, building out the ecosystem, if I don't see those things happening in the bear market, then no, I won't buy back in.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of, that all different asset classes serve a purpose, and there's a rotation that, occurs. And generally when one asset is dominating, there's another one that's pretty much fallen off and is dormant and forgotten. And, and that's where I would shift my money to that, class that's at a basically, for lack of better words, in a buy zone or a buy signal, and shift it around. And that's what I've done. That's what I've had pretty good luck with between stocks and my exposure to metals too. The metals certainly helped with that. But yeah, that's not something I plan on doing, is holding really any crypto during the bear market until the advanced stages of the bear market. Probably I would wait until 2 years from the cycle top before I started getting in. And at that point, if I did hold XCN, I would start staking it immediately.
Well, that's something we're actually going to be doing over on the Patreon. We talk about it all the time. Is that we're actually talking about it today over there. We're going to be focusing on new projects that are launching nodes that you can operate, that you can pick up, like stuff like good opportunities. Projects like KASPA and Miria both came out with nodes. You could have been a node operator with those. And we're also going to be looking at DeFi staking options like your XCNs. I know Algorand is bringing DeFi staking to their ecosystem. What was the other one there? JASMY's launching a super wallet, where they're going to be giving away staking as well. They're trying to get a 75% TVL, man. That's going to leave 14 billion tokens in circulation.
Wow.
The price is going to go through the roof.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're taking the supply off the table and you still have the same demand,
Yep.
You're going to go up.
Well, and that's why I'm hoping a project like XCN can follow suit, because I know just about everything there is to know about JASMY, and right now they're setting up to be one of the top passive income projects throughout the next bear market. But you can operate nodes with them. They're going to have DeFi staking on their super wallet. You also can provide data through their PDL to get paid in JASMY that way as well. They have like 4 ways of getting passive income out of them, right? Sure. And you can do them all simultaneously. I'm hoping that Onyx Coin can kind of mimic that, and like let's get some node operators going. Let's get some do they have node operations right now?
No.
Yes. No. Like maybe we can work on some.
Yep. It's all through the stakers.
Yeah, so maybe we can work on that. Maybe they already have the staking, which is fantastic, right? If they can, I think those are going to be big winners. Projects that build out their ecosystems, that incentivize people to want to participate in their ecosystems.
Sure. Yep. 100%. I mean, especially in a bear market, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. So in terms of XCN, you got anything?
Yes. There's been some frustration, that I've witnessed in the Telegram chat about, when's this, when's that, and when's Onyx Core. And I will say that, I even started saying, hey, Yeah, you got to at this point when we're in a bull market, we got to get have something to offer more than just staking. I mean, my concern was from an ambassador standpoint is we're marketing, we're talking, we're front running the information. You have to give us something more to talk about than the staking.
Yeah.
So the response to that was they had recently posted the white paper again for the new Onyx Core, which is beyond my and some fellow ambassadors that have chimed in's ability to really understand to the point where we've internalized the knowledge and we can explain it in simple terms. It's very technical. So, I have requested that if they do not want to do any developer time in a public forum for AMA, that the ambassadors be given a private AMA with a developer to explain Onyx Core and its fullest potential so that we fully understand it and can talk about it and give some new stuff out there to talk about. Also, I will say that based on some of the patterns of discussion from people that I've come to know in there, I would say that we are, and this is a subjective term, of course, and I'm not going to put a definitive time on it, but that we are very close to Onyx Core launching. So I look forward to that. But the thing is, we do have, some ambassadors that I'm guessing, will end up being replaced as the program is new and not everybody has been active, but there has been at least, 5 out of the 8, 6 out of the 8 that have been extremely active. And, my hats go off to them. They have their own methods in their own places that they, do what they do. I have mine, part of coming on your channel is an excellent opportunity for me as an ambassador to speak on things, but I have expressed a degree of frustration to the team just for transparency to all your viewers and all the holders that see this of, we really can't afford to rest on our laurels here. We're in a bull market. If you got anything shiny, nice, develop this and that, this is the time to showcase it. You have attention on things. And, I understand the concern is, oh, well, we don't want to, be a pump and dump this and that, but you have to bring something new to the table. You have to make strides and you have to get these new people. Will all of them retain their position? No, you're going to have people that get 20% and they're happy with that and they're on to the next thing. And that's fine. I don't expect any different from there. But, the Onyx Core ecosystem is not something that is, brand new. It is something that's been around a while. We also are not one of these, emerging layer ones that you often see in bull cycles or anything like that. We do have our own existing base. So, and we have, survived a bear market. So I really do think that the chart is going to show very soon rather than later that this coin is very much alive, well, and going to move. The ambassador roles, I'm guessing, that if there is any replacements, which it's still a very new program and they're still very fine tuning, those ambassador replacements would come from the top members from the community initiative, the public zealy. I know there's been some people on there that are crushing it, and they actually had it shut down briefly because it was like a trial version, and they had so much engagement on the public zealy that they had pretty much burned out their allotted amount. So now they had fixed that. It's back up and running. But it had by far exceeded the expectations of the quote unquote team, as we use here, of, how active that would be. So that's what I got going on now. Just know that, to my best ability, I'm, nobody in the big picture, but I'm fighting for everyone here, and I'm trying to get, answers. I'm trying to push to get new developments, but I also understand, that you can't rush a good product. It's going to be ready when it's ready. But I do really honestly feel that we're very, very close to that point.
Well, what I can tell you is that I got a good buddy named Jesse, and he's actually a JASMY ambassador, right? That's how we met. Mm-hmm. And you're very much like him. He is the one ambassador who is the proverbial pain in the ass to the project, who is the hard ass, who says, hey, we need answers, we need this, we need that, right?
Yep.
And so I would encourage you to continue to be that guy, because it does work for Jesse, and and he's a fantastic guy. You're very similar in that aspect to him. So I would definitely, it's not always fun being that guy, but someone's got to be that guy, right?
Yeah, and I tell him, I said, people have accused me of soft fudding and all this stuff. And I said, listen, man, I've been around here for years. They said, when we're doing a bang up job, you're going to hear that from me. And, if we're not doing something good, you're going to hear that from me too. And I have been a pain in the ass, but for whatever reason, man, and I'm grateful for it, I guess, but they seem to, the team again seems to have an interest to a certain degree in what I say in there, because I have found out through hindsight, looking back, the comments I made and the suggestions or the concerns, they're very soon addressed after that. Even with the whole, pushing of like, we have nothing to talk about, this and that. And then the next thing, 2 days later, there's the white paper. And I believe that's all they had to put out at this point. Otherwise they would have done more. But, so, I guess I have some degree of value in there, but I'm just, like I told other people too, I don't do the ambassador thing, for the money. The pay of an ambassador in here in America is the price of one good dinner with me and my wife per month. It's not anything, to write home about. And I'm fairly well off. I'm not in it for the money. I was doing the exact same thing I'm doing now before I was an ambassador. And I'll continue doing the same thing. I'm just doing my part in a DAO. They have pushed early on that when I was asking the team for stuff, well, it's community driven. It's community driven. So I said, okay, let's drive. Let's, I'm going to do my shit. I'm going to do my, my thing. There has been a little bit of frustration towards a couple, by a couple people there. There was something proposition. Well, Wes, how about you do a live stream with another ambassador and talk to another ambassador on there and go through things, maybe why you hold the project or whatever. And I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do that. But there was really no other response from any other ambassador. They're like, what is this? You're in Telegram. All these ambassadors are chats through Telegram. I know they see the chat. So, there is kind of, I guess maybe not everyone does things I do it, and the way I do it, and I got to respect that. But I do believe that this process, and they have had an ambassador program before, that they know what they're doing, they know what they're looking for, and they do expect to fine tune and find the right people. And it's also trial and error at first.
Yeah, not everyone who's first selected is going to be going to be perfect and stick around, right? You're going to have some level of rotation. Somebody actually said to me, they said in the comment section of one of the videos, they're like in an anger kind of tone, like, how do they not select you for ambassador? I said, whoa, guys, I never applied to be an ambassador. You have to apply first of all. I never applied, and the reason at the end of the day I didn't apply was because I have to remain objective and non-bias, right?
Oh, if you
they're
applied,
paying me,
you would have got it like that, Rob. Just, I could tell you, if you applied, you would have got it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm the only.
You're very valued, and actually, one of the mods at this point in time, I thought it was comical and also flattering. They referred to our videos, our live streams that we do, when someone had upset me in there for something, and they're like, "Don't upset Wes. He's been around here a while. His videos are classics at this point." The streams that we do are viewed as XCN classics. So I thought that was great, man.
Well, they will be, right? Like when we have our legendary run in this bull run, and you start to see your bigger content creators start talking about XCN at Onyx Coin, and they'll be saying, "Oh, I told you guys about it all along," and all that stuff. But the real Onyx community will know, that these live streams with you and I and stuff they're the classics, right? The OGs. So
there's not many of us out here doing this. I mean, we're in a big room, and it's not many of us in it.
Yeah.
But you know, so yeah, we're the classics, man. We're making the classics here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pushing, guys. Just know I'm pushing. I'm not the type to sit around and wait for someone else to make suggestions. I'll make them right alongside you, and if no one's doing it, I'll be the first. Um, but I feel like they did show some response, and I still am waiting to see if they could honor a AMA that's a ambassador privilege to have the ambassadors in there, talk with the devs, and just give us a really, really good level of understanding and transparency about where we are with things, what we're at, what we're creating, and what the goals and what it's going to look like.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of that a little bit, we were doing a live Zoom call earlier today over on the Patreon, and Jetpack actually asked a question, and I told him to save it for you for the live stream. So what he said was, he says, "Hey Wes, will it be possible to vote for an XCN stablecoin so that we can take advantage of the 35% APR by taking our gains from the bull run and outing it on the protocol? And do you think we will add more tokens to the swap on the protocol?"
Okay, so the latter half of that question, absolutely, there will be more assets on there. I don't know if they'll be tokenized, but you will have the option to create assets on there as well. Based on you're basically institutions or parties can create their own DeFi ecosystem on our ecosystem. So there will be definitely a lot of variation in terms of different assets that are on there. Tokens, I'm sure, will be included in that. Do I see them doing a stable coin? If in fact they do bring back markets, I would assume that they're going to bring back, USDC or DAI. I don't think they're going to create their own stable, anytime soon here again. That seemed like, we're way too close to the recent burn of VUSD for me to think that's happening. If they do resume markets, you will be able to stake, just like you were able to, not stake, but supply and earn an APY on your supply. But stables typically were giving, anywhere from 5 to 10% APY on the protocol by supplying those markets. If you want to stake your money on there, I'm assuming it's going to have to be an XCN.
Look at this. While you were talking, JASMY spiked all the way up here.
Nice.
Like, this literally just happened while you were talking.
Nice, man.
So I think as JASMY's trying to break out a little bit, it's got to get above that 200 ASMA. I think more accurately what Jetpack is wondering, if I'm not mistaken, part of his question was, because he talked about it over on the Patreon, was, do you think that they will migrate? And I would assume it would probably just be USDT because it's on Ethereum. I think what we're talking about here is, will they provide APR staking for stable coins like USDT or Circle, right?
Yeah, I don't think they would. They would call it something different. They would basically be calling it, you're supplying it and you're getting an APY for supplying that, which is a safe bet, but you definitely won't get the 35%. I mean, now the rates will definitely vary based on the supply, and the demand on the protocol. If there's a short supply, they will incentivize that through the algorithm by upping the APY until that key amount that they have in mind, of that asset is provided. But I would bet 100 to 1 that you will never see 35% for something, like a stable, on there, because we had several on there before the market went, and the most I saw, I think, was like DAI was like 9% at one point. I didn't supply. I only staked my XCN. I didn't supply assets to it. When faced with the choice of it, I didn't see any real reason to, because the there was such a price disparity between the APY of the stables and XCN. And XCN was already, so far at the bottom of it. Now, if it were really high up, would I get out of XCN and choose to stake, a stable on there just to make something? Sure, I'd entertain that, but I haven't had that experience yet because we're so far down on the bottom of the price charts, that it just seems that the risk of downside is far less than the risk of upside.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they will have staking for other. It would just be wise to have staking for other projects, like most swaps and DeFi plays kind of would have, right, for liquidity purposes, among other reasons. But I agree with you in terms of rates. You're probably at best looking at somewhere between 3 to 9% tops for
Sure.
APR on a stable coin that's not theirs, right?
Let me see if I got something here to help.
I wouldn't be surprised though to see like a 4, 5, 6% on USDT or something to provide liquidity to the ecosystem.
Yeah, it says what it's going to be is a scalable multi-asset blockchain designed for financial applications. Obviously, it will enable the creation, management, and exchange of assets via smart contracts in a secure, extensible environment. It will have flexible asset issuance. Users can programmatically define and issue assets with rules for their control and use. It'll have a federated consensus, a network of block signers that'll ensure ledger integrity and preventing double spending and forks. And it does say, obviously about interoperability and scalability and extensibility, but it does say specifically that XCN will remain the utility token for voting and staking, and for operating the DAO. It doesn't mention anything about the markets that were kind of front running or preloading of it. So I don't know yet with Onyx Core are there going to be, is this a peer-to-peer lending operation with markets like it was before, or is that no longer on the table and it's strictly we're allowing people to kind of do their own mini ecosystem in our ecosystem? So and there could be a possibility of both. That's why I really want to get in front of a developer and stop wondering. I don't want to wonder at this point anymore. I want some answers about what's the plan. You're working on something. I'm sure you know what you're working on, and what the end goal is. Could you share with us a little bit? And if you don't want to spill it all to us, that's fine. But give us something. Give us some stuff to go off of here. Tell us what direction we're steering in. It's not really fun being a ship without a captain. So, but I do think that based on the talks and the answers I've gotten, that it will be very soon on Onyx Core.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. I want more details on Onyx Core. I can't wait to break that down. I did do a video, I want to say yesterday or the day before, just giving an update on that white paper update that they released. Yep. I did a breakdown of that, and just most of it was just more, it was good stuff. It was more about governance and, staking and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. And just about how, XCN will be the utility token for the protocol and stuff like that, right? Super bullish confirmation stuff. But yeah, I really want to get my beak wet on the Onyx Core details and stuff like that. So
yeah, part of me is, when reading the white paper, and I was relieved. I was happy I put it out there in the ambassador chat saying like, hey, some of this is like, I read it and I understand what the words mean, but altogether I don't really follow like what this means in layman's terms. And other people had said, the same thing. But part of the impression that I'm getting is that it's going to operate almost like like it's going to have chains. That's what I'm kind of gathering, that you can basically, for lack of better words, and I'm sure they're not calling it that, but basically create your own chain on that ecosystem. And, that things will be able to be swapped, and, there's rules behind each asset that's issued, created, or whatever. And they can somehow talk if they need to, or be exchanged. But,
and that's more. that's why I had mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago that I had a feeling that they were going to start moving in that same direction. And I don't know if you remember, but I was breaking down Swift blockers, the all-chain bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how that just seems to make sense moving forward for these types of projects to make themselves all-chain bridges, right? Like Swift had just added the entire KASPA network and the KRC20 tokens to their swap, right, to their protocol, so that you could swap between KRC20 and ERC20 and so on and so forth, right? And to make that level of interoperability on the platform, it's just honestly, if they're really smart, they're going to move in that direction because, and it seems like they are based on like what you just said as well, and what the white paper says, and that's because DEXs and decentralized exchanges are not user friendly right now. But these next generations that are coming in, these swaps like Swift and hopefully XCN, Onyx Coin, it's just convert. It's plain and simple. And if you can add other networks to your protocol and make it easy for non-tech savvy retail investors to come in and just click two buttons like that. Okay, I want to change this Ethereum to KASPA, right? And you can just do that by two clicks of a button. That is what's going to determine how much liquidity is in your ecosystem, because if it's that easy for non-tech savvy people to utilize your platform or your protocol, you're going to get a lot of people using it.
Right. And I think that, it was after the VUSD hack that right alongside the time that the ambassador proposal was launched, that they had a proposal to fund using 200 million XCN to fund liquidity on Base. So I think they are moving in the direction of, that whole narrative of being able to swap and have interoperability between chains and things like that. I haven't heard much about that, but I know that, for them to come up with that out of nowhere, especially after the decision was made already that they're going to be reverting to Onyx Core, that's going to be a very purposeful OIP for the way that things are going to be looking once this new platform is launched.
Yeah, I agree. And projects that don't do that are probably going to die if you don't become more user friendly. And that's what I'm talking about, paying attention to the bear market, right? Yep. Someone just said in the chat, Onyx Coin's dumping. Well, I mean, got a little tiny red candle here, but as long as we stay above this resistance, this old resistance level, which is now turned support, I don't give a crap if we come down to this level. It's just a little buying opportunity. See, and it would be perfectly healthy, actually, to be honest with you. We've had our break above it, okay? What a lot of people in crypto don't understand, and I don't blame them for it, is that you have the most positive thing that you can do in any kind of bullish structure is retest old resistance and trend lines and 100%. Make them support, flip them into support. So coming down like this right here would actually be more bullish than, and because then you lift off, right? As opposed to coming up and just continuing up, because guess what happens? You don't have any support. So when you come back down, you come right back down through that resistance level again.
Just so like you saw there to the left, slightly to the left, we broke that line and came right back down to past resistance of the third peak out of the four peaks right there. When we came back through, we tested that past resistance as support. I would love to see, and I think it's a high probability that it will test that area as a support before it makes a substantial move up.
Oh yeah. Well, look how violent it was earlier. This is going to be a very valid level of support, in my opinion, because look how hard we rejected off of here when we hit it both times. Violent rejections.
Yep.
Right. You want that, those are the kind of rejection levels that if you can flip that into support, I like to call them iron walls, right? It would take a lot to fall back through it again in that case, right? Because you build it as support. If you build this as a support level, you retest it and then you take off, you're probably, that's going to be the floor for a lot of people, and you're going to start to get a lot of longs at that level and a lot of buying pressure at that level, which makes it impossible almost to fall through that level, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, the person, my mentor is always, he always waits, after a breakthrough. He's like, don't FOMO. He goes, you'll have your chance. He always says, most of the time it's almost a requirement that it's going to have to test that past resistance as support, and it has to confirm it. There has to be enough candle closes of a certain degree time frame for that support to be confirmed, and then you can imply that there's going to be another leg up. It's very rare. He would advise that it's just going to ignore it, just go through something. And it does happen. You see right there. The spike, it can eat through these things. But I remember when XCN went to 300, he had said, don't FOMO. You're going to have an opportunity. It's going to have a 65% retrace, and everyone was like, yeah, whatever. But I think that we're going to retest that as support and make a very strong move off of that. And the longer we consolidate here, the better.
Yeah, I agree. We're building it up, and over on JASMY, we're building quite the same thing. We're building quite the symmetrical triangle here on over on JASMY. I wanted to piggyback off of the retest, right? So we've got this symmetrical triangle building, and we're running out of room here, guys. So
yeah, the apex is coming.
Yeah. But to reiterate what you were saying, similar thing happened with JASMY here. As you can see, if we zoom out a little bit, we have our trend line. We've touched 3 times. We broke out. We've retested it now, and now we're just waiting for that, that boom. So.
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll retest the top area there.
Yeah, 100%. So that's but and again, I don't expect everybody to understand that, because it's not everyone knows how to read charts and stuff like that. So it's it's gibberish to some people, but that's why you try to walk them through it. It might make a fucking mess. But we also have I don't know if you can tell, but we also have a golden cross here, like getting ready to form. I predicted where it was going to play out, so I just left it there to see how right I was. It's getting pretty close here, though. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. So I think we're going to have that golden cross probably within the next week and a half. So I got to get I don't have the moving averages on. I'm not as familiar with the charts over on KuCoin. I'm going to mess with it. If you have any other things that you
Yeah, no, I know that once we get above the 200-day, it's lights out. You're going to go up and fast. Typically, those moving averages, I'm not huge at moving averages, other than the fact of using them. They tend to act as support and resistance quite a bit in markets, and that's kind of what I see as their best use case for me anyway. But typically, when you go over that 200-day, in a bull market, that's really when things accelerate.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm trying to figure out where they put the SMAs here on the KuCoin chart. It's the pain in the ass making the exchanges all have different designs like that, Anyway, yeah. So I mean, people got to be patient. Too many people are, I seen one guy. He said in the comment section of my video today that he sold his JASMY that's getting ready to break out, as you can see, and he bought XRP.
Oh man,
that stings, man.
Yeah, you bought a coin that just went on a tear. Yeah. And also a huge cap. I mean, so I mean, God bless you, man. I hope it works out for you, brother.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not saying it like I'm laughing at him. I legitimately am I feel so bad for that decision. Like, you literally sold a coin that hasn't pumped yet for a coin that just ran up like 150%.
Yep.
Like, my God, are you going to be angry at yourself in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, when JASMY does its run, it's melt up 100% to 150%.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be sitting there going, what the, you know?
The next support that would be tested for XRP, I believe, is between the 70 something cent level and 80 cent level. I mean, that's a pretty good drop.
Yeah.
You know, from where we're at. So I just, know your risk. But these market makers and just, they know when things capitulate, where people tend to jump ship right during the capitulation. And these tokens, JASMY had a good run a while ago, but there's not a lot of sellers left at these prices. I mean, with Onyx, if you were up at, you would have to buy at 120 and you would have sold. I mean, there's not a lot of coins left other than people panicking. There's not a lot of room for profit because the floor isn't that far away still. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just, if you're that emotionally driven too, it doesn't hurt to just walk away from the charts for a week or two, if and get yourself rebalanced.
Yeah.
That's there must have been some degree of panic or frustration or something like that to cause that kind of move.
Well, I mean, and that's exactly what it is, right? Is it's like, well, this hasn't pumped, and I understand, but like, I always go back on the JASMY chart, and I show people, like, if we go back here, right, this whole area here, this was 3 months of this descending channel, right? We broke up from this 500%, right? This consolidation here has been over 5 months, right? So there is going to be a violent move to the upside very, very soon. And to go through all of this just to sell it into something that's already pumped 150%, you're cryptoing wrong, right?
Right. And at the very least, even if you're into a short-term thing, you have that pennant, that symmetrical triangle there, that if it broke from the downside to the upside, the odds are higher that it's going to break to the upside. And you should at least get that flag post added onto the apex of that triangle for your next move up, which is looks like it's a pretty decent move. I can't see what is that at? That's right around the same distance.
Yeah, I have it mapped out here, right between 2 cents 65 and 2 cents 7.
Yes, I mean, even for short-term stuff, you're basically selling right before. If you wanted to get out quick and do a flip, I mean, at least wait for that to break to the upside. But yeah, I just, I'm not. Me personally, I am not.
Yeah, I mean, and I try to help people, but I mean, some people you can't help, right? They're going to do that kind of thing. There's always going to be those people that are going to do that kind of thing and then be angry about it later, right?
Yeah.
And God love you, but you gotta. That's why I say you gotta get your emotions under control.
Sure.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, emotions won't do you well in investing or any market.
I read a quote and it said something about some of the best, most successful professional investors in the world spend extended periods of time doing absolutely nothing.
That's a required skill.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's no accident too. That's why they're good at what they do.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that people, when they get into crypto, especially people without investing experience, the first thing they obviously do is they go on social media and they start following YouTube channels and stuff. And, you get content creators telling them about swing trades, and, they're hearing about meme coins and ridiculous amounts of returns on them and stuff. And that builds up that anxiety in them that is like, I have to do something. I'm not doing anything. I'm just buying this thing and holding it, not realizing that that is actually what investing is investing in something that you've done your research into and waiting for your investment to mature. It's
Right.
not buying meme coins and hoping you become a millionaire with $20, right?
Exactly. And flipping your coins into one thing or the other and trying to do this and timing. I mean, you're essentially gambling at that point. You know, it's so much of the time spent is going to be doing nothing, and the big moves happen fast. You're not going to time everything out. I mean, you make informed decisions, you weigh your risk, you figure out what you're going to to put in, and you just you wait until the market comes to you. You can't force a trade. You'll go bankrupt rather quickly doing that. I mean, pick what you got to pick right now and walk away. You're right at the forefront of the 4 years apex of this altcoin season, cycle rather, within a altcoin cycle. You're right there, man. I mean, don't mess this up. Just set your positions and just wait until it comes to you.
Yep. I see this. For me, what I'm seeing on this chart, this is heavy manipulation, right? This is JASMY was breaking out based on what the chart says. It was trying to make its run. And somebody out there somewhere said, nope, I'm not done accumulating yet. Down you go. That's what that is to me, right?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of different projects. A lot of those long wicks quickly sold off. It's an interesting time. There's a lot of volatility when it comes to this stuff. Once it gets really going, the volatility is crazy. I would just really stay put until you're ready to exit.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I preach about on on my channel. Usually is just like, people always ask me, gotta do something. No, you don't. You don't gotta do it. Look at that. Boom. That's what just happened. With the volume shot up from 140 million, almost 141 million, all the way up to 191 million.
Wow.
$50 million worth of volume came in within minutes and then left. That's pretty crazy.
Yep, they're trying to incite a reaction, reaction from people.
Yeah,
once they have more stuff, you guys will know. And I with XCN, I'm fishing and hunting for all the tidbits of info to be able to bring you guys something new and exciting, and on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Onyx Core stuff or any kind of new proposal. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye out for. But
they offer gas reimbursement fees, as part of something to stimulate, voting. They have nothing to vote on since.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're on the second month. I keep telling them, I'm saying I'm jonesing to vote. I got spoiled, man, where we were voting on something every 3, 4, 5 days every week.
I do have an update, actually. I'm actually confirming my Coinbase wallet, verifying it finally, because I've been on the bench because, like I said, they want like bank statements and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I found out I can just give them like a utility bill or something like that with my name and address on it. So I'm going to go that route instead. Okay. So I'm going to get the Coinbase wallet verified, hopefully this week, however long it takes them to do that verification.
If that's something because you're out of the country. Because this week I set my father's up again, and it just asked, for the banking info, and then it deposited, 2 deposits in there that you had to verify, and then it asked for a picture of the license front and back.
Well, you can deposit. I can deposit into Coinbase right now. I can't withdraw or anything or do anything else though.
Okay.
But we have Coinbase in Canada. Like it's Coinbase Canada too. So that could be why. But people in the States are saying they need the same thing, which is whatever. But however long it takes them to verify my stuff, and then I'm just going to start staking my XCN. So
nice, good man.
Decided to get her done. So
there you go, man. You'll be in good company. There's a lot of really big fans of XCN that are staking and making the protocol go around.
Oh yeah, most of my Patreon, almost everybody over there staking their XCN. Yeah, we talk about it every day. So it's,
it's nice to see those compounds in day over day. You know, the no lockup fee period for me, man, is like the biggest thing, and also that your rewards compound in real time. They're not given out, you know, at the end of a month, you know, like some other projects do. Like, you know, if you want to stake for an hour, you can stake for an hour and you get an hour's pay.
Yeah.
You know, I really do believe that they got a lot of projects beat when it comes to their staking rates and, you know, how it's set up. But we just need a little bit more than staking, man. We need a working product here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would like to see, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think I'm gonna wrap it there, buddy. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm getting tired. It's been a long day for me. So
I'm with you, man. Well, it's always good talking to you. Always good being on the channel. I thank you for the opportunity. And next time I'm back, I'm very hopeful that we have something good and new to talk about. Because I'm gonna keep on pushing.
hopefully Sunday, brother.
Excellent, man. Look forward to it.
All right, I'll see you on Sunday, man.
All right, have a good night.
Peace.